And then thank you so much. We welcome you to ESPN College Football presented by Geico. And you're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. A little after dark for you to wrap up your college football Saturday with Pac-12 South implications for the USC Trojans, bowl implications for both Cal and USC from the LA Coliseum tonight. Who wants to win the division? It's been wacky since about midway through the season. Colorado started off on top. Watch where the Trojans are. Week 8, they're sitting at 3-2. They suffer a couple of a loss to Arizona State. They've bounced back with a win against Oregon State a week ago. Now Utah, USC, Arizona State all entered today with identical records. Arizona State and Utah both winners today. The Sun Devils the only team that still holds its destiny in its own hands. The Trojans are still very much in it. On the other side, the hook for this game historically, going back 15 years, the last time that Cal knocked off USC. Triple overtime thriller. Tyler Fredrickson had the game-winning field goal. Aaron Rodgers was injured in that game. It was Rodgers against Leinart for 2.5 quarters. And after all that, the Trojans and the Bears tonight, a win for either team puts them in a position for bowl eligibility. The Trojans take the field at the LA Coliseum. They had won all 19 home games under Clay Helton until their loss 2 weeks ago. Cal and USC tonight in LA. We've got some football from LA for you tonight, but some national news has been made here in California over the last week. For more, we go down to Quinn Keston.
Thanks, Adam. The Coliseum is located about 25 miles from the Woolsey fires here in Southern California, which are slightly north and mainly west of us right now. And this has been the lead story in Southern California over the last 2 days. Yesterday, from our hotel and from the top of the Coliseum, you could see the smoke from the fires. 150 homes were destroyed. 250,000 folks have been evacuated. The air quality has been really a major point of concern here in town. At times today, it has peaked over 157. Right now, it is a more healthy level in the low 60s. There was a moment of silence for the mass shooting earlier this week. They also gave a standing ovation, the fans here did, to the firefighters who continue to battle the blaze just 25 miles from where we are. And if you're at home and you wonder why it looks a little hazy, that is smoke that is passing through this region that our cameras and the lights here in the stadium are picking up.
That will affect the look of what you see on your television sometimes tonight. May affect these players as well. You can actually kind of taste it in the air.
Yeah, it won't affect the coaches in the way they coach the game. They will go with their normal game plan.
Right.
I don't think you're going to see extra substitutions. I mean, both teams are a little beat up.
The ball is dropped by Ashton Davis, but it is still a touchback inside the 25, the fair catch signal. Typically, when we start these games, we'll tell you about the quarterbacks, started off with them. Let's tell you about a star running back, Patrick Laird of Cal.
No matter what you want to do in life, reading is kind of like the foundation of your education. My own collection of books it's growing now. I think I need a bigger bookshelf, so it's been fun to collect more books. And my buddies know that I like school and I like to read, and so they jokingly said that if I ever scored a touchdown, my touchdown celebration would be me opening a book.
He is a major focal point for this offense.
Absolutely. And they're going to need his help right now because of that dropped kickoff, and they're on the 2-yard line.
Yeah, you still have to execute the fair catch if you want the fair catch to stand. Ashton Davis, unfortunately, with that muff, sets Cal back inside its own 5-yard line, and Laird gets locked up by John Houston.
Well, the impact that Laird has made on the Cal program is remarkable when you consider that you're talking about a guy who was a walk-on and was number 7 on the depth chart and is now quickly approaching his 2nd consecutive 1,000-yard rushing season. That's just incredible.
A breakout campaign a year ago for Laird. Chase Garbers, incomplete. Garbers makes his 4th consecutive start, the 7th of his career. The redshirt freshman from about 45 miles down I-405 over at Newport Beach's Corona Del Mar High School.
And he's going to be challenged tonight because USC believes defensively that their guys match up well with these receivers. They will hawk them, they will jump them, they will man-to-man them all over the place because they do not fear these wide receivers.
Empty set for Garbers. That one through the hands of his intended target, Ian Bunting. And a quick 3-and-out for Cal to start the night.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you had the drop because you didn't get to see a normal offensive start for Cal here to try to get something done. You're backed up now, and this puts USC in position to have a real field advantage. Heck, it wouldn't surprise me if they went after this kick right now.
Tyler Vaughns is a dangerous return man back in midfield. Signal for the fair catch, and USC starts in plus territory. USC this season has, for the most part, ridden a true freshman quarterback, JT Daniels, 18 years of age, won't turn 19 until February. 3 weeks ago, against the hard-hitting Utah defense, he suffered a concussion. That kept him out a week later when the 19-game home win streak was snapped in a loss to Arizona State. He was talking to Jack Sears on the sidelines that game. Last week, he did return with a touchdown under 200 yards in a solid rushing performance for USC. He'll fire here, and that ball's batted into the air, incomplete. Big-bodied Chris Palmer, a name you're going to hear tonight, makes the play.
Yeah, he's an active big man, but this line realizes that you can get your hands up and knock down some passes from Daniels. Daniels himself talked about that earlier this week, that, hey, you know, sometimes he can't see over things, even though he's listed at 6'2". He's got to find those windows.
Second down, Daniels. Tyler Vaughns slips a tackle and has a first down inside the 35 of Cal.
No Michael Pittman for USC tonight. Means that guys like Vaughns have to step up and make plays, and he's in that slot an awful lot, which will give him a chance to have some room to make some moves.
As Rod told you, Stephen Carr, one of their 3 rotating running backs, and their top big play threat, Michael Pittman at receiver, both out tonight. Vavai Malapai spins for not much. A week ago was the first time this year that Clay Helton had taken over play calling duties for T. Martin. This was following the loss to Arizona State. Very run heavy a week ago.
He picked the right week.
Yeah. The cure for the common offense.
Right,
Oregon
he had
State,
Oregon
yes.
State, and they put 322 yards up on them rushing. And they did a lot of it out of a 1 tight end, 1 back set. And you may see some of that tonight, but they ran an awful lot on the right side. But Daniels is going to have to throw the ball a lot tonight.
Here's Cedric Ware, who's coming off a career-high performance, but he gets stuffed by one of the best tacklers in the country, Jordan Kanashik.
See, last week, the right side of that offensive line with Voorhees and Udoga were outstanding. Best games of the year for them. But this Cal defense is a little bit more stout over there. So I don't expect USC to have the same kind of success running to the right side as they did last week.
We saw Jalen McKenzie in at right tackle for Udoga. He's the redshirt freshman on the right side. That's where the pressure comes from. Daniels keeps his feet and moves well down to the 25-yard line, but it'll be shy of the line to gain.
Yeah, pretty good awareness, but then you see right here the right tackle. Again, Udoga gets beaten, and you have a nice step up again, and a good play by Daniels. His pocket awareness really showed. But that was McKenzie over there on the right side.
That's interesting. That's interesting to note because Udoga has started every game this year at right tackle. So here's Michael Brown, took over for the injured Chase McGrath. He's 4 of 5 this year. It's a throw to Brown, and the kicker gets brought down. Travion Beck was not fooled. And Cal shuts down the drive with no points on the board.
Wow. Why? You know, you get them backed up, you get the ball in field position, you've got points. But look at this. Cal's got the speed, and there's nothing on the board for USC.
Aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear. Keep pushing day in and day out on the field and on tires you can trust to help you go the distance. Goodyear, more driven.
There you go.
So Cal takes over after Clay Helton calls for the fake field goal. Wyatt Schmidt tries to toss to Michael Brown, and they give up the good field position. Cal takes over here at the 27 for their second series after a 3-and-out on the opening drive. Chase Garbers dumps it off for Chris Brown. And Christopher Brown stays on his feet. Good yardage to the sticks.
I'll take you back to that last series. You think about Cal getting out cheap, being backed up inside their 5-yard line, giving USC good field position, and then SC fake field goal. And, you know, the Cal offense is not one that scores a lot of points. So any points you can put up and make it tougher on them would seem to be the thing to do if you're USC.
Back to Brown. This is an offense that has left a lot to be desired. Second to last in the Pac-12 in scoring. They're last in passing yardage this year. They're last in the red zone. They've allowed 24 sacks, which is bottom 3 in the Pac-12 so far this season. And the biggest issue has been the turnovers.
Yeah, turnovers and the lack of big plays because they lack speed.
Here's Laird. Cute.
Yeah, and that lack of explosive plays and speed makes having success on first down imperative for this group. You're gonna see a lot of quick games, some RPOs. They will use Laird heavily as a receiver out of the backfield. That's his 39th catch of the season. But they cannot afford negative or no gains on first down with the way they're built.
You're right, Q. We now have Laird split out to the left, and typically when that happens, that ball tends to go out somewhere over there.
Four-man rush. Garbers into a tight window. That ball was flipped into the air, and John Houston comes out with it. Laird gets him out of bounds. Cal's biggest bugaboo all season long strikes in the first 5 minutes.
But was he down? Was Mo Ways down? That is the thing that you'll be looking for here. There's the catch. There's a hit. No, he's not down until there. Ooh, now he's down, and now the ball comes out. It's that left knee that looked like it was down before the ball came out. And if they take a good hard look at this one, I think this one will come back. Good catch.
Iosefa put the hit on him, and then that ball got loose.
Yeah, and some folks might look and go, geez, that could be a targeting call. But remember, the change of the plane by the receiver dictated where that hit occurred on the shoulder pads up high. But it is possession that's the issue here, and that left knee, it's a good look, shows you that that knee is down right there. And then the ball comes out afterwards.
Possession established, which makes him a runner. Therefore, if the ball is loose, that is a live ball.
Yep. So, Counselor, you think we're okay with this one?
I think this will likely get overturned.
Yeah.
It was third
Remember,
down.
you need indisputable video evidence.
I thought you circled it. That typically tells me if you circle something, you feel pretty strongly about it, and I would tend to agree with you.
Well, he's still got the ball. He still has the ball, and his knee is down. So that's going to be a Cal football. That's going to be a first down, a third down conversion for the Bears.
Yep. That's Mo Ways, the redshirt senior, the former Michigan Wolverine. This is something that Cal is trying to avoid. This is a crucial call early in this game. They've got the third most turnovers in the country entering action today. And they've got one of the worst turnover margins in the country as well. this really explains it. Explains it. When they don't turn the ball over, they're good enough to beat a Washington. When they turn the ball over, they can't move the ball against just about anybody.
Well, it's part of the reason why we will have Chase Garbers going the distance probably at quarterback. Justin Wilcox, the head coach, told us earlier this week that Brandon McElwain is the backup and would play if necessary, but that he really plans to let Chase kind of run the show.
It's been mostly Chase now for the last 3 games after he took over as the starter.
After review, it was determined that the receiver's knee was down with clear possession of the ball. It will be first down for Cal at the 50-yard line. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 10:16. Thank you.
Mike McCabe gives us the ruling. We seem to think that was a pretty fair and obvious one, and Mo Ways has a catch to move the chains.
And now Cal has to think in terms of taking some chances, making some plays, grinding it out against this defense, being smart, because you know the pressure is going to come. You want to take your chances before you have to deal with the pressure that you know USC is going to bring. And Adam, the issue in pressure situations tends to be over here on the right side. That's where teams have been attacking Cal to bring pressure.
They run that way with Laird, and Marvell Tell from the safety spot comes up to make the stop. Both of these teams are beat up, as you talked about, Rod. Tonight, Talanoa Hufanga is out for a second straight game, one of the top tacklers for USC because he has a broken collarbone. Greg Johnson is out with a shoulder issue, although they get Elijah Griffin back as a corner. And for Cal, they've been without a bunch of receivers most of the year, and they're without Kanawai Noah, who's one of their best downfield guys.
That hurts.
And here's Laird, and he works his way to the USC 45, 3rd down.
You know, USC has had so many injuries in their secondary that they've got issues. And, you know, even Iman Marshall, number 8, the left corner, he was uncertain until game time with his banged up ankle.
Clancy Pendergast, the defensive coordinator for USC.
They're showing the pressure here.
They'll bring it. Garbers goes down. Marlon Tuipulotu, sophomore out of Oregon, makes the play.
Garbers likes to scramble. He likes to get away when he feels a little heat. USC did a great job of cutting off all avenues. No place for him to take off. You saw on that left side that there was a complete shutdown. Iosefa, number 56, stayed home outside and did not give Garbers a lane.
There's Vaughn's back to return. That will head into the end zone. For the first time tonight, we say hello to the now father of 4, Adnan Virk, my man.
Just like the Amines, by the way, 4 boys. Thank you very much, Adam. Capital One fan vote update. Clemson and Boston College. Special teams so vital. That's how BC got their touchdown. Well, how about the Tigers and Amari Rogers? 58-yard punt return touchdown. It's over on ABC. Clemson's up by 20. Adam, back to you and Rod.
By the way, that's T. Martin's son.
Yeah.
T. Martin is the offensive coordinator for USC. Boy, how about Rogers, though? He's had some punt return issues, had those muffs against Syracuse. He's been dynamite ever since.
Absolutely.
Big-time returner. And the run here is Aka Cedric Ware. That does take us to an interesting point. As we mentioned, Clay Helton taking over the play-calling duties now. Told us his day-to-day doesn't shift that much, and T. Martin is still a very integral part to the game planning process and kind of delivering key information from the press box.
Well, I think he told us also Helton's not sleeping as much.
He's Daniels firing to his high school teammate Amon-Ra St. Brown. 3rd and short coming up.
Well, he's a little bit more involved with the game plan, and although T. Martin is not calling plays, he is in the box upstairs, calling out tendencies, situations, what he's seeing, and making recommendations. And Helton is using that information to call his plays.
Cue.
One thing you'll notice is they're playing with a little faster tempo as the calls are getting in on time quicker.
Q. Daniels sneaks it for the first down.
Yeah, there's less substituting. You know, last week they stayed in 11 personnel, which is 1 running back and 1 tight end. For 51 of the 72 offensive plays, the calls came in quicker. There's less standing around, and it allowed JT Daniels and this offensive line to finally find a rhythm.
Well, Q, JT Daniels is going to have his hands full with this defense, particularly when it comes to throwing the ball. This is maybe the best or the second best secondary in the Pac-12. And they are very adept at disguising coverages. Look at number 6. You see him, Hawkins, backing out. Look how far back he plays.
First down, it's Malapei. That's going to be the shift that you see often,
well,
right?
You know, they do a great job of disguising. And last year, they kind of befuddled Sam Darnold. And Darnold had some nice stats and whatever. But if you watch the game, you notice that Darnold held the ball longer, seemed uncertain of where to go with the ball. And that's because the pre-snap picture right now, you see one thing. But when that ball is snapped, you see 2 high safeties now. By the time that ball is snapped, something different will happen. You see the change. It's a different picture.
Here's St. Brown, keeps his feet, has the first down. Clay Helton told us that the most important thing is going to be that diagnosis for JT Daniels.
Yeah, he's got to figure out quickly, what am I looking at? What is the picture? How did it change? I got a 1 high safety look telling me I could be seeing 3 deep or man-to-man. I know how to deal with that. Now it's 2 deep. What's happening with the corners? Are they rolling up? Do I look down the middle? So he's got to really digest all of that pretty quickly.
Slug it out to Velus Jones, and there's Hawkins. Good play for the loss.
You know, if your corner is playing up close, you're going to win this battle. I love the way he attacked St. Brown and says, really? You're going to try and block me? Not going to happen. And that's the way a good corner, good defensive back is supposed to treat a wide receiver.
Hawkins, a former wide receiver himself.
No flack for my anti-wide receiver comment?
I was going to give him. I just told you he was a wide receiver. I figured you'd appreciate it. Well, penalty marker is thrown as Josh Follow was the intended target down the field. Daniels was off target, but let's see what the flag is for.
See, the beautiful thing about what Hawkins did to St. Brown is he sent a message. You won't be blocking me tonight. Yeah. Okay? Let's get that squared away.
Holding defense against an eligible receiver. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
First flag of the night gives a fresh set of downs to USC.
It is so hard to run the ball on this defense.
Top 40 rushing defense in the country. Top 35 scoring defense. Top 20 total defensive numbers this year for Tim DeRuyter and Justin Wilcox. Daniels underthrows that one right at the feet of Vaughns.
Yeah, that didn't come out of his hand like he wanted it to. Daniel seems poised. He's got the ability to use that mental eraser and kind of move on and not dwell on a bad play. And to follow up, Adam, about the right tackle situation as McKenzie gets the start. Chuma Edoga, according to our sources at USC, a coach's decision, unspecified injury. He is here with sweatpants and shorts.
Edoga, 25 career starts, so McKenzie makes the first start of his career, helping to block for Vavai Malapei. Third down coming up.
And remember, Edoga is coming off what might have been his best game of the year last week against Oregon State. So McKenzie has to step in, and remember, there's a scout here watching him with very severe interest.
Well, McKenzie, his dad, a former linebacker at Tennessee, played in the NFL. Now the GM of the Oakland Raiders.
That would be Reggie.
That's Reggie McKenzie. He's here tonight. Edoga, you see him, the senior from Atlanta, on the sidelines. Daniels rifles one, incomplete for Jones. Travion Beck with his second nice play of the night.
This is an aggressive defense. Beck has made another play tonight where no hesitation. Now you see Daniels just staring down where he's going with the football, and Beck reads that perfectly. And that's you get that with young quarterbacks, staring where they're going to go with the ball. And Helton's talking to him, guys, look off a little bit.
JT Daniels' high school teammate is back to return. That's Nico Remigio. Remigio, fair catch at the 6. He caught 10 touchdown passes a year ago at Mater Dei from JT Daniels. We're scoreless in the first. Four drives, 5 first downs combined, and more bad field position for Cal from their own 6. Sling it out to Jeremiah Hawkins, and he gets tripped up after a short gain.
You know, Garbers is really operating at a disadvantage. You mentioned Noah is not playing today.
Yep.
We've not seen Warden at all tonight. There he is, no helmet on, didn't start the game, and with Noah out, I mean, Warden is really the only other guy that is a real threat in the passing attack.
Those 40 catches lead Cal.
Yeah.
And they don't have a whole lot of passing offense either, Q.
Yeah, Vic Wharton warmed up, but for whatever reason, he has not played in this ball game. He's a punt returner as well.
So on 2nd and 8, looking for options, and they find Ricky Walker, seldom used at wide receiver. He's got the first down.
So think about what you're asking these guys to do offensively. You're going to grind it out, or you're asking a backup player who's not been featured to become a star for you, to be the featured guy tonight to help out your freshman quarterback. That's a big challenge.
They've had wide receiver injuries all season long. Mo Ways at the top of the formation for Cal. Faking both ways. Laird holds on to it. Picks up about 2 as we check in with Adnan. What's up, buddy? TJ Vasher, he's the guy that made that ridiculous catch in week 1 against Ole Miss. I still remember that. Second and 9 for Garbers. The pocket's collapsing, but he can move a little. Penalty marker is thrown. Chase Garbers slipping tackles, turning it into a foot race. And he is marked just shy at the 1. But let's go all the way back about 90 yards and see what that penalty marker's about.
Holding offense, number 71. Penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Oh, a penalty that's going to loom in Jake Curran's head for a while. 82-yard run negated.
All for naught. There he is on the middle of your screen. You see he's got Smith, and he grabs him, and it's enough to make a difference. Smith otherwise might have made that tackle, so you can't say it wasn't a hold that didn't impact the play. It clearly did.
Rod, those are the leaky yards that USC defensive coordinator Clancy Pendergast was worried about. He said Garbers, they have got designed QB runs with McElwain, but Garbers, he can step up and run if you give him gaps in your pass rush.
Yeah,
those leaky yards.
You're right, Q, and USC did a nice job earlier on, you know, kind of building that fence and not letting him leak out. But when you play so much man-to-man and you bring so much pressure, if he gets past that initial wave, he'll be able to run like that.
2nd down and 17. Deep shot, Garbers. Incomplete, looking for Nico Remigio. So the first game of the season belonged to Ross Bowers, a 3,000-yard passer from last season. Wasn't all that effective at that point, so it's been mostly Chase Garbers and Brandon McElwain over the next few games. McElwain started a pair of games against Arizona and UCLA, but had a lot of turnovers. It's been Garbers ever since.
Speaking of turnovers, this is a very dangerous position to be in right now. You're backed up, you got a long way to go, you might get pressure. Be safe with the football if you're Cal.
Screen draw perhaps, and they go with the short conservative run with Christopher Brown. Christian Rector, who's in for the injured Porter Gustin at the outside linebacker spot. A move for Rector the last few weeks, making the play.
Are you surprised that USC is still alive in the hunt, the Pac-12 South?
I'm surprised nobody wants to win this division. This has been one of the wackiest, weirdest divisions. I'm not kidding. We were discussing the potential of a 7-loss team in the Rose Bowl. All right? That's how weird this division is.
That's true.
That won't be the case, it seems like, for the time being, with both Utah and Arizona State winning. USC trying to keep pace with those two teams in the Pac-12 South. Wild and wacky. This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these by awarding the best student section of the year. The USC student section is already on the national watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see if your team made this week's rankings and to see how your school can compete. ESPN College Football tonight presented by Geico. Scoreless late first quarter, Pac-12 after dark, USC and Cal. And more good starting field position for USC. And Aka Cedric Ware blows one open. All the way down inside the 10 to the 6.
Get a load of the block over here, over what they do on this side. It is tremendous the way they open this up, and then you just have the counter when you pull around a couple of guys like Chris Brown and Lobendon.
44-yard run. And remember, McKenzie starting on the right side of the line tonight as well for the first time in his career. Right back to Ware. Second down and goal.
What did he have last week? 205 yards?
205. Yeah. Career high for a young man who sat behind Ronald Jones and some talented running backs for the first 3 years of his career.
That's an awful lot of patience in this day and age. And after that 44-yard run, he deserves to stay on the field and get a shot at getting this one into the end zone.
It'll be second down and goal at the start of the second quarter for USC.
You know, all the fans down here are going, no, run the play. Run the play.
They want to see the touchdown.
Yeah, run the play.
Now the band section's gonna take a look at second down and goal. No points. Pac-12 after dark. Quarter 2 coming. If you're watching in LA, maybe you like Aaron Donald. He's pretty good. NFL's best defensive player. He'll share his secrets to sacking the quarterback. And then 9 months after the Super Bowl, kids named Nick and Carson and even Lily. We'll have that story for you. All leading up to Monday Night Football. Giants and 49ers, Monday at 8:15 Eastern Time on ESPN and the ESPN app.
I want to see my guy Richard Sherman against Odell Beckham Jr. Oof. That's a matchup, isn't it?
That's something to watch. Second down and goal. Brandon Peely is in as an extra lineman. Aka Cedric Ware. Ooh, Jordan Kanashik came in like a rocket. One of the best tacklers in the country. Makes the stop. He's already got 5 stops in this game.
Oh, man, he is a missile. Gets a little help from Weaver, but watch the two of them. This is a great tandem. Weaver took on the blocker, just left it clear for Kanashik to get in there and make a big hit, and they kept USC out of the end zone.
Kanashik, second in the country in solo tackles per game. He's second in the Pac-12 in total tackles. Weaver is third in the Pac-12 in tackles. Third and goal. Looking for Vaughns. Touchdown Trojans.
Nothing fancy about this down here. Just a little sprint out and an out route. Whenever the quarterback sprints towards you as a defensive player, you know that ball's coming to the outside. Good route by Vaughns and a good throw. If you were watching Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, 2-point conversion, they did not execute that play that well.
That's where the ball needed to be, leading the receiver. You thought Taylor Cornelius left it a little short, didn't he?
You got it.
Boy, what fumbling that was today. Well, let's take a look at tonight's Choice Hotels playbook. The touchdown set up by the Aka Cedric Ware run.
I'm just different for the face mask. They're helmet, ready for helmet. So I'm gonna go this way and you attack. I'm trying to tackle. Yes, sir. Yeah. So ready, set, go.
Oh, okay. I can't see you. I can't see. How can I tackle when I can't see you? So you do that. If you do that, my reaction is going to be to bring my arms up.
Just push it away, just like that. We show blind your whole vision.
Like big brother keeping little brother at bay. How about Aka Cedric Ware putting a hand into the face of Ashton Davis on that 44-yard touchdown setup run?
Yeah, and Ashton Davis did a better job than Quint of breaking through that stiff arm. Ashton Davis knows how to break through that.
Okay, Rod, coach me up. What is it? What do I do when I got little short, stubby arms and a guy puts his hand in my face and I can't get to him?
Well, if you can't do it the way Davis did, one thing is to really just use your hand as a club and to knock down that straight arm. And if you can't do it that way, so you're getting straight arm this way. If you're getting straight arm this way, you can club it down. If you can't club it down, then you just grab that thing and pull it out of the socket. You just treat it like it's...
I can't feel my arm anymore.
You just pull it out, and that'll make him go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way most people do it, and if you don't want to get caught trying to reach, you go down low and get him.
Gotcha. I mean, listen, not to say anything anybody doesn't already know, you're a shorter defensive back, shorter limbs, shorter arms. You had to figure out ways to make things happen. Speaking of Ashton Davis, on the return, takes it out to the 25. We return to the studio. Here's Adnan Verk. Wow, just throw it up for the big receiver. You got Johnson on one side, Humphrey on the other. Just throw it up for him.
How crazy is the Big 12?
Take the overs everywhere. As Biagio Ali Walsh gets the carry here, the fourth running back available tonight. And Vic Wharton, by the way, their leading receiver, is out there now.
Yeah, we don't know why he didn't start the game out there. It's worth watching to see how effective he'll be and how much they actually use him, or if he's out there as a decoy.
He's lined up against Iman Marshall, top of the set. That'll sling out to Hawkins. It's ruled an incomplete forward pass.
Yeah, you know, Wharton was out there that time, and you mentioned him being up against Marshall. He couldn't get down the field.
Yeah, he got stuffed at the line.
And Marshall does that to a lot of people. I don't know if something's going on with Wharton, but Marshall just ate him alive, and he was not in position to do anything.
Marshall trying to get him pumped up. Dealing with an ankle issue. He's dressed and ready tonight. That one batted down at the line of scrimmage. Jacob Lichtenstein, the redshirt freshman, putting the paw up there.
Well, Cal has struggled offensively most of the season, and when you can't get to the quarterback, look at him just push his man all the way back into the quarterback, and that was Cameron Bennett, number 72, trying to block him. He drove him back, and when he couldn't get there, got those arms up, reducing the distance he needed to get up to block that thing.
Vaughns, in traffic, did not signal for the fair catch. Good coverage by Quentin Tartable. 4 Cal drives, 4 punts. USC, after a touchdown, takes over once again.
I think it stands, Pat.
Top 6 at least?
Yep.
USC starts this drive from the 29, and Velus Jones got chopped down by Travion Beck.
He's having a night. Yeah, he's playing well. You know, this is a defense that is underrated. People don't see them very often. They play really, really well. They play hard. They play fast. And they do enough different things to try to confuse a quarterback, and they actually do confuse them quite a bit.
Malapei finds a seam, adds a few more to the 37. So if you just watch Clemson BC finish up, you're flipping around. Adam Amin, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick from Los Angeles. USC with a 7-0 lead on Cal after a touchdown on their previous series. Clay Helton taking over the play calling duties starting with last week. Still in the hunt for the Pac-12 South. They need to win tonight and next week in their final Pac-12 game of the year, and they need a loss somewhere with both Utah and Arizona State. Utah and ASU both winners today. JT Daniels Luke Beckett made the stop. They marked him right at the sticks, and it's good enough for a first down at the 39.
You hold your breath every time Daniels takes off, considering that he had that concussion a couple of weeks ago. I mean, he plays without any fear.
It's his second start since the concussion against Utah 3 weeks ago. He missed the start, the loss here at home against Arizona State 2 weeks ago.
And Jack Sears came in and did an incredible job, but that was his first start. You don't want Daniels to get hurt, so running him is a little bit of a risk every time he takes off.
The ruling on the field is a first down for the offense. The previous play is under review.
You can review forward progress as it relates to the line to gain or a score. This is for the line to gain. We'll step aside. After review, it was determined that JT Daniels initiated a slide at the 38-yard line right there. Where the slide becomes initiated is now where quarterbacks are marked as they give themselves up. This is the NFL rule that college football has now adopted, which I actually agree with. I think that's the right call, well, and they ruled it properly, so it's 4th and 1.
It's the right thing because it helps in the safety area.
Absolutely.
And that's why you get it this way. And if you go otherwise, it's a first down, but you have guys taking shots.
Yes.
You don't want that. So when he begins the slide, is where you mark it. It's a 4th down. USC will kick it instead of going for it here. You know, you're kind of deep in your own territory here to go for it.
So Nico Remigio, true freshman from Mater Dei, nearby here. Back to return. Reed Budrovich with a high one with hang time at the 24. You can stream college football all season long on ESPN+. You can start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. Highly recommended, by the way, with college basketball season getting going this week. They get plenty of college hoops action as well.
What do? You're struggling on offense. You don't have a guy who stretches the field. You haven't gotten Laird involved enough. You need some rhythm. You need some flow. They go to 2 tight ends.
Including Malik McMorris, big number 99. It's a keep for Garbers, and he's brought down by Jacob Lichtenstein.
Oh, what a freshman he is. You know, they got a couple of freshmen up front for USC if you add Tufele in there.
Yep.
They're going to be a problem in the Pac-12 for years to come. Lichtenstein is quick at 270. He doesn't start, but he plays an awful lot. And he and Tufele are going to make quite a tandem.
Empty set again for Cal. A design run for Garbers with a lot of space. Good run out across the 45-yard line. Ball came out loose, though. Let's see what the ruling is. Recovered by Jordan Iosefa.
Well, Garbers was running with the ball, and he had it kind of low. Now, you and I have talked about this all season long. Carry that ball high and tight. He has it low, and there you see Harris coming in and stripping it.
Let's see. It's tough to tell when exactly the knee goes down and when possession is relinquished there.
No, but I like the way the officials are handling this.
They let the play go,
yep.
Then they make a ruling, and then allow replay to make the change.
Right.
If there is a change to be made. Now the tough part about that is because they let that play go, and it's a very tough replay to definitively say something on. You got to go with the call on the field,
it may stand.
And it may stand as a USC possession.
Right.
That might be the best look we just saw.
Yeah, the ball looked like it was coming out from that angle, but you can't really tell when you compare that with the knee. That's the confusion. And if you don't have indisputable video evidence, you can't change the call.
So now the officials are going to communicate with the replay booth. Ajane Harris trying to strip the ball. Did you feel like the ball was coming out with the knee down before the knee was down? Did you feel like there was movement there?
Yeah, but you know, you can't substitute judgment in here. You got to see it clearly. I mean, he didn't have possession. It's clearly he's losing possession as that happens. And now knee.
And then you see the ball clearly comes out after the knee was down.
Yeah.
So, again, it's so tight right at that clinch point.
I thought in real time it looked like the ball came out. Now, not to get all technical and
oh no, feel free,
you, but you know, there's this study out of the University of Chicago about video evidence and how it distorts reality, and it makes you see and believe
After
things that aren't
review,
true.
the ruling on the field of a fumble and recovery by the defense stands as called.
Yeah.
That's what makes that difficult. It's the right way overall to go about the process. I 100% agree with you. You have to let the play kind of play out. What is tough is a borderline call like that you could really say, all right, no, his knee was down, but you put 100 guys in a room, 50 of them are going to say one thing, 50 are going to say something else. That's a very difficult play. So now Daniels loads and fires and finds Amon-Ra St. Brown, talking with the cornerback Elijah Hicks for the first down.
What did you tell me in the first quarter about turnovers in Cal?
Yeah, issue.
Yeah,
big issue.
When they have them, they tend to lose.
16 of their 22 turnovers have come in their losses.
Yeah, entering action tonight, 22 giveaways, 16 in their 4 losses this season. Ooh, high snap handled by Daniels. And Ware runs it on first down.
You know, this is actually a very critical possession here and a critical situation for the Cal defense, because you don't want to fall behind 14-0 with an offense that is struggling to score.
Yep.
This is when you have to take your chances to make sure that you get off the field and don't give up any points. Look how far back the safety is playing.
It's Ashton Davis back there.
Yeah. Now, he won't stay there. When they get close to the snap, he's going to move and someone else will move. Look at the change in the coverage now.
Trying to confuse Daniels. Stayed on his feet initially, but brought down by Luke Beckett.
Well, and that's what happens when you actually confuse the quarterback with your disguise. And it started back here, and you'll see some changes here. When he is uncertain about what is happening, he will hold the ball a little bit longer. You see the safety comes over to the left. It's a different coverage. That allows the pressure to get to JT Daniels.
And you saw Alex Funchess, one of their best rush guys, look like he was going to come in and then take one step in and then go back. Cedric Ware. Good run, but not enough. Clay Helton, don't forget, when he took over as the head coach midway through 2015, his defensive coordinator was Justin Wilcox.
Yeah.
These two have a lot of familiarity with one another. Remember, Clay Helton was running the offense. His offense is going up against Wilcox's defense in practice every day.
Doesn't that make the pregame handshake a little awkward? Hey, sorry I fired you, buddy, but I wish you well, and just a little bit maybe.
How about this? 4th down and 6 after the 13-yard run by Ware. They're going to set it up for 4th down, and now a timeout from Clay Helton. He wants to think about things as well. Here in Los Angeles. Right now, advantage USC. They've got the ball on 4th down. The offense is out there. Again, these two know each other well, on staff together a few years ago at USC. Wilcox and Helton, meeting number 2 between these two.
I'd be concerned right here if I were Cal. How do you make sure that St. Brown in that slot position doesn't get loose?
On 4th down and 6. Blitz coming. Daniels has a man, and Amon-Ra St. Brown withstands the back hit for the first down.
Well, they didn't take St. Brown away. Good pressure by Cal, but Daniels hangs in there and gets rid of it just in time. And again, St. Brown in that slot position, it's a tough matchup. He's got a linebacker inside of him, and they widen Beck on the outside.
launching, has a man, touchdown Vaughns. Three catches for Vaughns, 2 of them for touchdowns. Penalty marker on the field.
Well, how about that throw? You know, we call this a Dilfer dime.
This is a dime.
Yeah, this is a throw. Just throw your guy open.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Throw your guy open. Lead him to the spot.
Offense. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
Amon-Ra St. Brown in the midst of all that.
That guy, 18, he's got a toolbox. He's got some tools he can use. He's mobile. He's got great accuracy, toughness.
Daniels with the touchdown pass. You see Amon-Ra St. Brown come in. That's where the penalty came in. That's unnecessary.
Well, he didn't score.
Is there a rule for that too? Like if you don't score, like listen, man.
Well, the chatter, the chatter, Rod, has been going on all game between Hicks and St. Brown.
Couple of kids from this area. Long Beach not too far away from this area as well. Elijah Hicks and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
You can't come in and say, my buddy just beat you. You know, you can't talk trash unless you actually do the deed yourself.
Well, I was going to say too. I saw Jaylen Brown dunk on somebody last night and then taunt him when they were down 20. Like you got to find. I'm just saying you got to pick your spots. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying if you're going to talk trash, do the deed yourself. You know? And actually,
by the way, spoken like a defensive back who's been beaten a couple of times in his career, I will say.
Only a couple?
I feel like Rod's been on his back a couple of times going, I don't know what to do on this one. Gave up the TD.
Oh, we've all been there.
Those of us who haven't played don't have to worry about it. Undefeated right here, brother. So with the 15-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff, back to the 20-yard line is where Alex Stathouse will kick away. Ashton Davis. Good second surge, and he'll make his way out across the 40 to the 44-yard line. Well, tomorrow, Coach K will take on his old team. Remember, he was a player for the Army Cadets. He was eventually their head coach. 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. You'll see Duke, 4th-ranked team in the country, and Army. That's a great shot of Bob Knight, the head coach at Army when Mike Krzyzewski was playing for him. By the way, Duke, whoa.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive the other night against Kentucky.
R.J. Barrett, Adnan Vert's favorite player, Canadian. Big-time game the other night along with Zion Williamson. There's Patrick Laird. Picks up about 4. Patrick Laird, final year at Cal. Breakout season last year with over 1,000 yards. He's got 700 yards coming into action tonight.
Well, he needs more touches, and if you can't hand it to him, you got to throw it to him.
Patient run, but not a whole lot there. You asked a pointed question yesterday to Tim DeRuyter, the defensive coordinator, or beg your pardon, Clancy Pendergast, USC's defensive coordinator. He said, we prefer to spill Patrick Laird to the outside. You asked that, and that was the case.
Well, there are certain running backs that you don't want to go outside because they can turn on the jets and turn the corner and make you look bad. But guys that you feel you can run down, you spill them to the outside, and you let your speedy inside guys tackle them.
Now Laird motions out wide. Tell hits Garbers. That one too tall. Marvell Tell on the blitz. Clancy Pendergast mixing things up now.
Pass protection, pass protection. You have to be aware of where the threats come from to keep your quarterback upright. And this time Cal has no idea. They do not pick up Tell. They slid their protection to the right side. Nobody saw, nobody picked up tail, and that's how you can wind up losing a quarterback. A blindside hit on his back.
So Coots punts away once again. Fair catch by Vaughns. He's got 2 touchdown receptions tonight. We take a look back with a Buick Drive recap, Rodney.
Yeah, a couple of big plays for USC. A 4th down, and St. Brown picks it up with a good catch. Took a hard hit there. You come right back on a beautifully thrown fade ball by J.T. Daniels to Vaughns in the end zone. A little extracurricular activity, unnecessary, but that set it up for USC.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyler Vaughns, Velus Jones, even somebody like a Devin Williams expected to make an impact tonight with the absence of Michael Pittman. There's Aka Cedric Ware.
Adam, that's been an advantage that this USC program has had in the Pac-12 South late in the season. In November games under Clay Helton, they're 10-1. They've won 8 straight November games, and a lot of it comes down to depth. And you're seeing that at the wide receiver position tonight. You're seeing it in their secondary and along their defensive front. I'm not sure that there's anyone in the Pac-12 South that has the depth of USC.
I think that's a fair assessment, Q. Swing it out to Malapei, and he lost his footing. 3rd down coming up. I mean, you need guys to step up. Everybody needs to step up this time of year. Look at what Utah did today. Jason Shelley at quarterback with Tyler Huntley getting hurt.
Yep.
No Zach Moss with a knee injury. And they knock off Oregon today, and they're still in position to maybe win the Pac-12 South.
That's an impressive next man up, showing some depth. And you need some of that if you're trying to win a division title or a conference title. You need people to step up and make plays, and it's not an easy thing to do.
Yep. Listen, Utah had to kick a bunch of field goals today. I get that, but you got a new quarterback in there. You win a game against Oregon, that's a win.
A W.
That's a W. Pressure from Cal. Velus Jones on the catch. Just kept his feet with Travion Beck trying to twist him down, and he's got the 1st down.
You know, you got a lot of guys on the Cal team from Southern California, including number 24 Bynum, a corner out there, who said he was looking forward to coming back home and playing in the Coliseum for the first time. Played against a lot of the USC Trojans growing up, so not surprising to have a little chatter on the field.
And Rod from the bench as well, because Hicks is a corner. He's out wide. He's out by the numbers. In this case, during this 2nd quarter, it's put him right alongside this USC bench. There's a lot of guys out of uniform that have been barking and chirping at Mr. Hicks. What's that like as a corner when all of a sudden you start hearing the cat calls from the bench?
You can't hear them. Yeah, at least if you're dialed in, you don't hear the guys.
Daniels dropped by Vaughns. 3rd down coming up.
Q, you hear the guys who are in the battling against you. The guys on the sideline, you don't hear them.
Takes a little discipline. They're so close.
Knowing Rod's penchant for the retaliation.
Hey, let me tell you this. The minute you play corner and you stop focusing, the band is playing.
Yeah. Not that you have any experience with cows and bands or anything like that either.
Jeez.
You just walked right into it, Big Cat. That's on you. Another disguised look from Cal's defense. Daniels finds Vaughns at the sticks. It's a catch and a 1st down for USC.
Yeah, pre-snap Cal gave a 2-deep look back here. You can't see all of that, but look at the change over here. Look at the movement by what they're doing. They went from a 2-deep look to changing it to a 1-deep look and went to man coverage. A different defense than what Daniels thought he was going to get, but he adjusted to it, bought some time, and Vaughns came back to him to make the catch. Cal is constantly changing the picture that Daniels sees.
And off to Malapei. Spilled out to the edge for a loss. Good job by the Cal defense there.
Q, this is a really good tackling Cal team. It's rare to see them miss a tackle.
Yeah, Gerald Alexander, their defensive back coach, is actually their tackling coach as well. That's a specified role, and they meet every Friday and watch film clips of successful tackles, whether it's Cal, opponents, or NFL. They talk about it. They're a shoulder tackling team, really focused on leverage, good technique, and avoiding injury.
Daniels for Vaughns. Stays on his feet into Cal territory.
Oh, what a matchup that was. He was up against Bynum.
Yep.
And Bynum is as good as you'll get in a corner in the Pac-12. And Vaughns was able to get away from him at the very end and make a terrific catch.
Cameron Bynum wears number 24 because Kobe Bryant is his favorite athlete of all time. Just gave up 24 yards on that play to Tyler Vaughns. That one knocked down. Great play by Jalen Hawkins. This guy is a ball hawk. He is around the football often.
Yeah, and he was lined up deep and then crept up and then got close and showed you his hops.
Think about all the looks that you've seen. 4-man rush, 5-man rush, spy, zone blitz, safety blitz, corners crashing. This is a lot to handle for a true freshman quarterback.
I think Daniels has done a terrific job facing it.
10th play of the drive. Quick strike to follow. Into the red zone, USC.
Such poise and composure by the freshman quarterback. I mean, he dropped that ball right over the head of Kanashik and in front of the safety, Davis. Kanashik.
Josh Follow more use as a tight end pass catcher over the last few weeks. There's Ware. Wrapped up by Weaver. 90 seconds, 2 timeouts for USC here. On an extended drive to try to close the first half.
Cal desperately trying to hold on to limit USC to a field goal.
USC has been solid in the red zone as of late. Here's Ware. It was Weaver who made the initial contact, and then Beckett finished it off. And Clay Helton may use a timeout here, and he will.
Second charge timeout. USC. This is a 30-second timeout.
We'll take the break with him. AV will see in a few. 3rd down and 5 coming up here for USC.
This drive started back on USC's own 10-yard line 6 minutes ago. This is play number 13.
And it is a quick one. Amon-Ra St. Brown looks like he has enough, but did that ball come out? Cal claiming they might have the football here. This would be a massive stand if they somehow got it.
Ruling on the field is a fumble and recovery by the defense. First down, Cal.
Cal takes over at its own 10.
That is a huge play, and Helton knows it.
Kanashik with the recovery for Cal.
Well, Kanashik gets the recovery, but who knocks this thing out? Wow, that was Tevin Paul. Got his left hand in there to knock it out. As he comes, there he is, right there, comes around.
I might think that's Beckett.
So Tevin Paul had the first hit on it, but then it was Beckett. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Beckett, Luke Beckett, who actually knocked it completely out.
Right
There's
here.
Tevin Paul, and then here comes Beckett. Yep. Yeah, no knee on the ground.
That's the right call, and that is a huge takeaway by Cal. If nothing else than to keep USC off the board, Trojans get the ball to start the second half. So this was a crucial Cal stop.
It kept Cal in the game. I mean, if USC puts 7 on the board the way their offense is playing, you could say lights out.
Cal has not been a team that can score large chunks of points in a short period of time.
14-0 at halftime is a 2-possession game, you tell yourself, when you go into the locker room. And hey, one play, 14-7, you're right back in it. So that was a momentum-saving, game-saving turnover.
Justin Wilcox with a sigh of relief, perhaps, at the end of this first half. 14-0 USC. They'll have the ball when we see you next. Right now, you see Adnan, Joey, and Jesse. Boys. Welcome back to ESPN College Football presented by Geico. You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. USC ball to start the second half with a 14-0 advantage, having won 14 in a row against the Cal Golden Bears. JT Daniels, an exceptional first half considering the circumstances, Rod Gilmore, because what did Clay Helton tell us yesterday? JT has to be great at diagnosing pre-snap and post-snap. You think he's handled a very good Cal defense well?
Mentally, he's been lights out with that, and he's thrown the ball pretty well, too. But Cal has thrown a variety of things at him, a lot of different looks. You see a nice touchdown pass to Bonds here, just sprinting out, and then this beautiful fade throw into the end zone. Also, the Bonds got them their 2 touchdowns, so he's really had a really good first half. But on the Cal side, you start thinking, what do they need to do in the second half to get things going their way? Well, I think they've got to get Laird involved more, got to do more with him. They've got to run the quarterback, and they've got to find a way to score a non-offensive touchdown because it's too much pressure on the offense right now.
It's all part of planning for success, brought to us tonight by Northwestern Mutual. That Cal defense will be out there to start the second half. Let's go down to Q.
Justin Wilcox pointed out to me that Cal's 2 explosive plays that they had in that first half, one came back because of a penalty. That was a scramble by Chase Garbers, their quarterback. The second was a fumble by Chase Garbers after a long quarterback draw. In terms of what he's looking for now in the second half, 2 things he pointed out. He said, we got to win a matchup on the outside in terms of their wide receivers against USC corners. Secondly, third down, both offensively. They were 1 for 6. Defensively, it hasn't been the typical Cal defense. Third down, you got to start winning. Perhaps that'll carry over and they can get some drives going. This is a team that can't strike big. They're just going to have to chip away, chip away, chip away.
Yeah, Q, I don't know how they're going to win those one-on-one battles against the USC secondary. That's asking a bit much. They haven't done it all night.
Here's Velus Jones. He'll pick up a few yards to start the second half.
Now, I think what is fair to ask of the Cal defense, and I think Wilcox probably did, is it's not enough to simply stop USC. Go take the ball away. Go score. And I think that's part of the halftime message to this defense. If you want to be a great defense, you got to do more than stop guys. You got to put points on the board. Take the ball away.
Flags from each direction.
Illegal snap infraction, offense number 50, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
5 yards against Toa Loban down the center. Cal beat Washington earlier this year. And I know Washington maybe isn't the Washington of week 1, but they won that game with 245 total yards offensively and a pair of field goals. The touchdown they scored was from Evan Weaver, a pick 6 late in that game, which ended up being the difference in that game. That was the big score in that contest that kept Washington at bay. And they took Jake Browning out of that game. Browning got benched in that game. Somebody we were talking about as a potential Heisman candidate at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, well, it's going to take something like that in this ball game. You just saw Velus Jones drop a ball, neatly thrown ball by Daniels. But you're right, you know, they're going to have a special effort. And getting off the field on third down in this situation, you could bring pressure right now. Let's see if they do.
Oh, bad snap again, all the way back towards the goal line. Ware was trying to get out of the end zone. What's the ruling going to be here? It is ruled as a safety. Recovered by JT Daniels as Aka Cedric Ware was trying to battle for it. Ball came loose to Daniels. It's down in the end zone for 2 Cal points, and they'll get the ball back.
That was close to being a Cal touchdown.
Yep.
That was a terrible snap by Lobendam that just got completely away, went way over the head of Daniels, and Cal had a shot at it. See how high that ball is? Oof. And it's not even accurate. It's over to the right.
Rod, they've had snap issues all season long.
Yes, they have. That is a recurring story for Lobendam and their quarterback situation here. It's not the first time that's happened at him.
Yeah, and we've seen it a couple times tonight. A high snap here or a low snap there. Well, you said it, Rod. On cue, they get points from their defense with some help of a miscue there, and now they get the ball back. They need something. And now it's getting a little chippy on USC's own sideline among their own. Well, Chuma Adoga had to come over. The injured, normally the right tackle had to come over and settle Isaiah Langley down.
Oh, clearly little intensity on the sidelines, and Langley having the last laugh at it. He's like, okay, I get to go out there and play.
Let's see if we can take a look here. So here's Daniels. Got kind of bumped maybe by Langley.
Yeah, see now, that's a little bit of the division between offense and defense that you really don't want on your team.
Yeah, Austin Jackson, the left tackle, was kind of talking to Langley after all that.
Well, clearly Langley came over and said something and bumped into Daniels because of the turnover. It wasn't even Daniels' fault.
So now Ashton Davis with a great return.
You see the speed that he has made him a track star.
Yep. Let's see what. Aerial coverage here in Los Angeles tonight provided by Goodyear. From the end zone to the uprights, nothing comes between hard work and a goal. Goodyear, more driven. So things have taken an interesting turn. Safety for Cal. The defense did its job.
Yep.
Now, can the offense get something going with Chase Garbers at QB and multiple receivers missing for this team?
Well, remember, Wilcox told Q they had to win on the outside. I just don't think that's very likely.
Let's see. One-on-one, tested early. Vic Wharton against Elijah Griffin, and a penalty flag is thrown.
What do you think Griffin did wrong?
Pass interference, defense, number 4, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Didn't look back at the ball.
If he gets his head around, he's fine. He's in great position. Just turn your head and find the ball, and you'll be fine.
I think he was trying to. By the time he did, the ball was already past his head.
After he pushed the receiver down.
After that, too. Well, hey, it may not be a reception, but it's a one-on-one win on the outside. Remember, Griffin coming back after missing some time with a shoulder injury. He's in for the injured Greg Johnson tonight. That was just way too tall for Ward. That's Garbers.
So here's the deal. When you're playing defensive back, if the offense can't threaten you deep, you have no fear. You jump everything. You don't fear a guy running behind you, getting a big touchdown. You play with a lot of confidence, and you're very aggressive. And that's where USC is right now. They have no fear that these receivers will cause them any deep damage.
Let's see if the jawing manifests itself in another way with that Wharton-Griffin matchup. Laird with the run. Second surge to the 29-yard line. Still going. Griffin and Wharton. I like it.
You think maybe there's just a little bit of stuff going on out here?
How about this?
Wharton initial, and then the reverse takedown by Griffin.
The side judge had to come in, did not throw the flag, despite the takedown. Give him 2 points for it.
Well, when you play man coverage all night, you are in that receiver's face. And he's in yours.
That's top of the formation, and then Laird splits out. USC bringing the heat. Garbers lofts it up there. It's caught by Wharton for a touchdown. Oh, things are getting chippy between Wharton and Griffin. This round belongs to Vic.
You've seen this battle going on. He's in a slot position, which means it's harder to get your hands on him. And he did not get his hands on Wharton, and that is how Wharton beat him. We've talked about this for weeks. When you are the slot corner, when you're playing that receiver, he's off the line of scrimmage, so there's a lot of room, and it's tougher to get your hands on him.
So Vic Wharton, their leading receiver, did not have a touchdown all year. Tonight, his first of the season, and a big one, much needed for the Bears. As they serve in our United States Armed Forces, Veterans Day tomorrow, observed on Monday. And again, as you've heard all day long, we certainly echo the sentiments. We appreciate everything you do for us, as well as everything your families do. We certainly appreciate that too. You just saw Vic Wharton come up with a touchdown. Take me back to it, Rodney.
Well, if you're in an off position and playing press coverage, you have to be patient. Watch what Wharton does here as he's matched up against Griffin. He comes off the line of scrimmage, and Griffin right here, he's a little too aggressive. Instead of being patient, he's taking aside and moving, and he just doesn't wait. He crosses over his feet. If you just wait, you can push the receiver, get a hand on him, and then you don't have him running free. And now you see coaches talking to him over there. You can't be so emotional that you forget how to play your technique. So if you're going to get out there and chirp and whatnot, you have to be focused when it comes time to playing the play.
And that was a chippy drive with just Wharton and Griffin. And that extends beyond. Austin Jackson getting into the face of a defensive lineman is there. This is what Cal needed. Remember, the safety, good field position after the free kick. And they come up with the right matchup, just their second offensive TD in the last 10+ quarters. Much needed. Now Daniels throwing it up there for Vaughns. Bynum was in coverage there. It'll be third down coming up for USC. A stop here for Cal, and now things are very interesting.
A very big third down early here in the third quarter.
You heat it up here if you're Tim DeRuyter?
I'm warm. I'm trying to figure out exactly what does Cal do here. Are they really going to roll the dice and bring a run blitz? Or are they going to play USC for pass? And the slot receiver is always an issue in this situation because of what you find. Now here comes the pressure.
They'll run against it, and they get the first down. Good job by Vavae Malepeai. And a good play call. Sometimes it just comes down to guessing right.
Yeah, and Malepeai, right guy to give that ball to. He's a hard runner, 6 feet, 220, 225 pounds. Really runs aggressively.
For all the talk we had about Cedric Ware, and rightfully so last week, first career 100-yard game last week for Malepeai. So he added to that rushing attack. Dumps it off for Eric Kromenhoek. Just the second catch of the season for him.
Well, you know, you don't fool these inside linebackers at Cal.
Aren't they good?
Yeah, Weaver did not take the bait. Neither did
Kanashik and Weaver. These guys are smart, man.
Well, 89 and 59, you know, and they both move very similarly. They're built similarly too. But they don't take the fake of the flow motion. They read their keys and they get where they need to be.
Malepeai, Bynum grabbed him, and he still muscles ahead. The sticks were right there at the 47.
Rod, Weaver and Kanashik, they look like inside linebackers who would struggle in space, struggle to pursue ball carriers towards the sideline. They are awesome tacklers with a head of steam. They break down, they wrap up. Both are averaging nearly 10 tackles a game, and they do well. They don't look that part, but they really execute it really well.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're not the fastest.
And here comes that Cal pressure. Luke Beckett right off the edge with a slew of white jerseyed Bears in the backfield.
Well, an overload inside. They actually brought 6, looks like 7, and then a missed assignment by USC inside. That was McKenzie at the right tackle trying to slide down and pick up Beckett a little bit late. And now you're thinking, if you're Cal, you got a chance to make something happen on this 2nd and long. How aggressive do you want to be?
They're loading up the line, and they backed off the pressure, and they get the pick. Intercepted by Travion Beck, his 3rd pick of the season.
Well, Adam, we've talked about it all night. The picture pre-snap,
yes,
and the picture post-snap. What does Daniel see? And initially they showed him 2 safeties deep. He's thinking some zone coverage. Guys are deep. I've got holes. But that's not what he had after the snap. Safeties move. He comes back, and look, he's got a guy who is jumping inside and makes a great play. That's Beck all over it.
Watch him jump the route.
Yeah, he just slides inside. He's playing for that. He's not running off into a zone. He's in his area, and that's something that Daniels did not see pre-snap.
So now Garbers to Laird in space. Langley brings him down.
This 3rd quarter has been all Cal.
They've scored all 9 points in this quarter, and again, starting this drive in plus territory after the Daniels pick. Hawkins around the Wharton block has the 1st down.
Now, if you're thinking, what should Cal consider? Go back to putting that man, Wharton, in the slot. Now, he looks a little gimpy there.
Interesting there. Yeah, he's limping at the top side of the formation.
Yep.
Garbers off the back foot. Almost like a tight end wheel with bunting there. Incomplete.
Yeah, I really think that you'd be better off getting Wharton, assuming he can run, get him in the slot and get him matched up again, whether that's with Griffin or with a safety, and see how that plays. But I think he's hurting.
Yeah, he's not moving around as well as he usually does. Yeah, he's limping over to his spot.
Well, he's limping over there, and he's got Marshall. I mean, that is not a, that's not a good place to be.
You basically eliminate him from the play.
Yeah, that's not a good place over there right now.
Throw underneath to Hawkins, and Marvell Tell makes the play. Quick reaction time there by the excellent safety.
Are you thinking 2 downs if you are Cal?
You want to chase points now in the 3rd? Do you think it's that important right now, or knowing how this offense has been? What do you think?
I would think two plays, unless I've got extreme confidence in a long field goal.
Straight up the gut, it's Laird. Patrick Laird, clutch touch.
Good play call here. You had USC thinking more than likely pass play. You just come with a little inside zone and a great cutback. Laird getting a few more touches. He didn't touch it much in the 1st half.
No. And you said you want to see more touches for Laird. Option. That didn't look like a play that was going to have a whole lot there. But I think an acute football mind sees the hesitation of Patrick Laird to let the play and hold develop.
Yeah, the patience. He waited, and then he knifed inside, and that's really a good thing for them right now. They've got some confidence. They've got something going. Question is, which matchups work for you down here inside the 10 when you don't have as much room?
They still got Wharton out there at the top of the formation. Riding a read, Cameron Smith and John Houston both there for the stop. 2 really good tacklers at that position, much like Cal's linebackers.
Yeah.
Another 3rd down coming up.
I think you want Garbers to be on the move a little bit. If you keep him in one spot, USC will know where to go get him because they tend to bring pressure in these situations.
Garbers going to take off. First down, Chase Garbers, and he took some punishment there too. Cal's offense with an extended series.
Yeah, you put him in motion here. You get him moving out to the right side. He's got a chance to look back. Nobody's open. Second choice is to pull it down and pick up the first down. Now you got a chance to pound it in. How about that big guy running behind him?
McMorris. Garbers keeps. And Chase Garbers with a maneuver for a touchdown and a Cal lead. First rushing touchdown of Garbers' career.
Well, he can thank Malik McMorris, the big fella right here who leads him around to the right side. Big fella gets a good block here, keeps Marvell Tell out, and that allows Garbers to cut it up inside, and that block was really the key there.
Now they're going to go for two to try to make it a 3-point lead.
Yeah, a little early to chase that, you know what I mean?
Garbers lobs it, and it was taken away by Langley. Good coverage on Remigio, and a 1-point lead.
I believe in the Reese Davis rule that you don't start going for two until the fourth quarter.
That's fair. A 15-14 lead, but remember, it was all set up by the defense. Travion Beck, the veteran of 30 games in a Cal uniform, jumped the route to take it away. And Chase Garbers behind Big 99 with the first rushing score of his career. Cal's got the lead. Very lovely place. Got a chance to be around campus yesterday when we were meeting with the coaches and staff. Right now, USC, after a 14-0 lead, has seen Cal come back to score the last 15 points, and it started with USC about to take a 21-0 lead perhaps at the end of the first half. The St. Brown fumble got things going. USC's opening series of the second half ends up with a bad snap going into the end zone for a safety, and then this Beck pick ends up providing another good field position spot for a score. So just like that, the miscues have led to Cal taking the lead.
And USC has done nothing since that fumble. Nothing positive anyway.
From the 25, Daniels to Ware. Picks up about 3.
Rod, if you're Clay Helton right now, you want to lean on your run game. Your freshman quarterback just made his first real bad decision.
Yep.
You've lost momentum in this game. And if you can turn to a run game right now and grind out a strong possession and swing the momentum back in your favor and give your quarterback some confidence back, that would be gigantic.
Absolutely right, Q.
80 yards on the ground so far. We're back to Daniels finding Vaughn's first down.
Clay Helton is acutely aware of how difficult this defense is to throw against because of everything they do on the back end and how that forces a quarterback to hesitate or to misread something. And the last thing he wants is another mistake by his quarterback.
Back to the ground. That's a good run by Aka Cedric Ware to set up second down.
Yeah, they pulled Bobendon, and he came around on that right side. And nice job by Ware cutting back inside. What a delightful young man.
Great to talk to this young man yesterday. Senior out of DeSoto, Texas, Dallas area, Cedar Hill High School.
He really felt guilty about having to stiff arm Quinn. Didn't want to do it at first.
He was saying, yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Q, well, tell me about that,
I love
Q.
him. I love him now. You know, he's a perfectionist. He's continued to improve, and he's versatile. You know, he's an every down back, and he's a family guy. You know, he talked about his parents and to support his grandma and how much he loves, you know, to eat the food, the taste of home he gets with the chicken pot pie and the chocolate cake. But sharp young man. Great smile. Loved our time with him.
His dad, Sed Sr., his mom, Nova, and his brother, Adavian. He said those are the three people, along with his grandma, who does some great cooking with that chocolate cake. They were the people that he leaned on in those first 3 years when he wasn't seeing the field, wasn't getting a lot of playing time behind the excellent running backs that USC had. Malapai stuffed.
Look at the reaction.
There is juice in that defense right now.
Look at that reaction. And look at the way SC is walking off the field.
Evan Weaver comes up with that stop.
And they're not going to walk off the field after all. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Now, every coach uses analytics to figure out, well, does the math tell me to go for it on 4th down or not? Well, sometimes you have to make sure that you use your own judgment, override what the numbers tell you. And the flow of this one right now is Cal up front is outplaying USC. This is a risky proposition for USC.
Yeah,
Very risky.
I think that's what Clay Helton might be thinking too. He might be rethinking this.
Yeah. I mean, all the momentum is with Cal. You miss this one, who knows what the Bears will do the rest of the way.
Well, the entire top 10 went unbeaten today. We'll have our next college football playoff rankings at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Reese and the guys break it down. Plus, Rob Mullins, the chairman of the selection committee, will join the crew.
Cooler heads prevailed here.
4th down offense was out there. Clay Helton called a timeout and sends Reed Budrovich out to punt away to Nico Remigio. Ends up being a decent punt inside the 20. How about this jolt from Cal? This is a team that hasn't been to a bowl game since 2015. That was their only bowl appearance in the 4 years of Sonny Dykes. Remember, Jared Goff was their quarterback that season. We got to a bowl game, played in the Armed Forces Bowl that year. This is a benchmark type of moment. Obviously, the streak is on the line against USC. Bowl eligibility on the line, on the road. This is a huge night, potentially, for Justin Wilcox, going up against his former employer as well.
Don't forget, he used to work down here, and there'd be nothing for him like coming back down here and getting a win against Helton and the guy who said, we don't really need your services here anymore.
The last game that Justin Wilcox was a coach for USC was that unreal Christian McCaffrey performance a few hours up the road in Santa Clara in the 2015 Pac-12 championship game. That was the night that McCaffrey went out for 461 all-purpose yards.
Ouch.
Stanford ended up winning the Pac-12 championship game, going to the Rose Bowl. McCaffrey had another great performance that day against Iowa.
He made a lot of teams look bad.
Yeah.
Still doing that in the NFL.
That was the last time Wilcox was a coach under Clay Helton. So run for Brown. And by the way, both of them have spoken about their relationship. They said we've buried the hatchet. They seemingly were friendly before the game today. They talked about it last year. Remember, these two teams met last year. They said it's behind them. There is a great mutual respect between these two.
And they're going to see each other a lot.
Absolutely.
Off season and during the season. So.
And that's what it looked like pregame, guys. It was very cordial, very friendly. There was really no friction, and they just looked like they get along.
3rd down and 2. Quick throw by Garbers, incomplete for Ways. Good coverage by Jonathan Lockett, who's getting more snaps tonight with the injury to Hufanga.
Yeah, did Lockett get his hand in there? Because that was a perfectly thrown ball that I thought Ways would handle. I thought maybe Lockett got his right hand in there.
Enough deterrence there. That was a good play.
This SC secondary has played with a lot of confidence. They've done a good job tonight.
Fair catch by Vaughns. Decent field position coming up.
Fair catch at the 38-yard line.
A reminder that Sunday NFL Countdown tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Talking with a guy who plays up the road, Aaron Donald. His secrets to sacking the QB, plus talking about the Philadelphia Eagles magic of a year ago. Then in Santa Clara, where the Pac-12 championship game will be played, and also the national championship game will be played. Giants and 49ers. Going to try to make Monday Night Football watchable. 8:15 on ESPN Monday night. Of course, Justin Wilcox has a great connection to the 49ers. His father, Dave, was an outstanding linebacker.
Number
Hall
64,
of Fame.
yeah.
Pro
him playing
Football Hall of Fame linebacker. How about that? 64 to 74. Dave was a heck of a player. But he played an old Candlestick, though.
Yeah.
Didn't get to play at that nice facility in Santa Clara. Daniels for Vaughns. Ooh, that was underthrown and nearly picked by Ashton Davis.
He actually had that in both hands. A great move by Davis to cut underneath for that one, and is really lamenting him that he didn't come up with it. Look at this move.
Oh, he had that in his hands.
Oh yeah, he read the route, he saw the ball, just didn't finish the play.
Davis is a really good player,
really good athlete.
All-American in the 110-meter hurdles this past year at the NCAA championships. Was excellent. Second team All-American. Slant dropped.
Wow.
Devin Williams, the true freshman, who had a big game, really his breakout game last week. Good coverage by Elijah Hicks.
Yeah, he stepped in after Michael Pittman was hurt last week and was expected to see some time today, and that was his first target, and he dropped that one. I think they really do miss Pittman tonight, and more so than Stephen Carr. And because Pittman really adds a dimension to the passing attack that they don't have. A big, tall receiver who can get deep but can also make that third down catch.
Yeah, a guy that JT Daniels loves to throw to on third down. Pressure from Cal. Daniels had time. Into a tight window and incomplete. Velus Jones the target. He got sandwiched by Beck and Davis.
But take a look at how aggressive this secondary is. You know, Jones is in position here, but there are two guys. Again, once again, the picture changed, so they didn't recognize exactly where all the coverage is. He throws into two, and Davis, who's the free safety, was playing low, and Becca was also there. It's a tough deal that Daniels was facing, and a big hit and an aggressive play by Cal.
Budrovich. Remigio with a chance. A good return out to the 30. Garber's getting ready to take the field with a lead once again. Aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear. From the end zone to the uprights, nothing comes between hard work and a goal. Goodyear, more driven.
Now, we have not seen Brandon McElwain in quarterback. We didn't expect that, since Justin Wilcox told us he was going to let Chase Garbers run the show. And they need some quarterback run now, but it's not going to come from McElwain.
Try to run it with Laird here. Runs into Rector. Rector, that's a tough dude on the outside as well.
You know, when you run the quarterback on a design run, you give yourself a numbers advantage, because the quarterback is normally out of a play when you count things, but when he's involved, now you have an extra blocker. But the 8 interceptions and 4 fumbles, that's the risk when McElwain's in the ballgame. And so he has not played tonight.
USC brings pressure on Garbers, who slipped it, got rid of it to Remigio past the 35. It'll be third down here.
Yeah, Cameron Smith forced him to get rid of it, but Cameron Smith came up a little bit lame at the end of the play, but it's going to take an awful lot to get him off the field because he did not like being on the sideline with his injuries earlier this year. Here's your third down. What do you have? Do you have Laird? Can you run him? Can you get him isolated out of the backfield? Or do you simply wait until the end of the quarter and then pick your play?
Ringing the bell in Los Angeles for the fourth quarter. It was 14-0 USC after one half. That number 14's a big one. That's how many USC has won in a row against Cal. A 15-point third quarter, and the Bears are on top. Come on back for the fourth. Fourth quarter, 1-point game. Pac-12 after dark, ESPN College Football presented by Geico. Third down coming up for Cal to start the fourth. Been a weird, wild Saturday. Let's keep it that way here in Los Angeles. Laird out of the backfield, and he's got the first down for Cal.
He is a difficult matchup out of the backfield. He has a very quick step when he gets into his route. USC came into this game thinking they would have to play a safety against him and not a linebacker because of how much of a threat he is out of the backfield.
He's caught 42 balls from the running back position this year. One-on-one, looking for ways. He had Langley in coverage. Second down coming up.
You notice that when Cal looks to make a play, they look away from number 8.
Yep.
Away from Marshall, and they go to the other side, and that has been Langley or Griffin. And that's just smart football because that guy right there, even with a slightly sprained ankle, is pretty darn good.
One of the best cover corners in college football, metrically and on tape. There's Laird again. Third down coming up again for Cal.
I still think their best option when you talk about third downs is having a slot formation, and if Warden is healthy enough, and there he is on the field, number 17, have Warden in the slot. That gets him away from both of those corners and puts him against a safety. But now they've got him over. This is the worst place for Warden, so they have to be looking elsewhere.
Laird out of the backfield again. Got a lot of ground to cover. Cameron Smith finishes him off. Drive-ending tackle for the leading tackler for USC the previous 2 years. Right now he's second on the team because he missed a couple of games with injury. And with the ball at the 49, there was a little bit of hesitation from Justin Wilcox, but the punt unit is coming out.
That was a very conservative call, and it was an indication that they were playing field position.
Yep.
Going to turn it over to the defense, try and pin USC back.
Vaughns has a punt return touchdown this year. It came 2 weeks ago against Arizona State. Great punt by Coots. Tartable pins him inside the 10. Long field in front of USC as we take a look at Celebrating the Upset, brought to you by Outlaw King on Netflix. Remember, Aaron Rodgers got hurt for Cal in this game, so they had to turn to Reggie Robertson at quarterback. There were multiple missed field goals and blocks in overtime. Ryan Killeen missed one in triple overtime. Tyler Fredrickson came out, hit the field goal. Triple overtime victory over the number 3 USC Trojans. Matt Leinart and Lendale White and company. A massive win for Jeff Tedford. That was the last time. That grainy, non-HD stuff you just saw, that was the last time that Cal beat USC, and they're trying to do that for the first time in a decade and a half tonight. Start this drive with a Malapei run, a solid one to the 11.
I don't know who is more aware of the streak, Cal fans or Justin Wilcox. You know, he brought it up to us. We didn't even get a chance to ask him about it, but he said, hey, you know, this streak and our players coming down to L.A. and family and friends, hey, you know, we got to be focused. Like, he brought up the streak, so they are clearly aware of it.
May not be in the teaching points for Justin Wilcox, but the awareness of it is impossible to ignore. It surrounds this matchup. A matchup that's been played 106 times. USC has played Cal more than any other opponent in its 120-plus year history. USC's won 70 of those meetings, including the 14 straight.
It is hard to run inside against USC, and I mean against Cal, and USC is in a one tight end, one back formation to the short field. They tend to run behind the tight end on this.
They'll get the first down with Malapei.
Here's the good thing. As the season goes along, you need to change up your tendencies. And USC did it that time, because in that time they ran to the wide field as opposed to their tendency to go short field. There's one player down that looks like
it's Malapei.
Malapei, it is.
We'll step aside. Levi Malapei, who is coming off the best game of his career a week ago, gets rolled up on. Watch his right foot, his back foot, with Chinadu Udogu, a 270-pound linebacker, landing on that foot. Malapei did not look good as he was helped off by teammates to the sideline. So with a fresh set of downs, Aka Cedric Ware is back in, and he might have to really carry the water now. Second down coming up. This has been an issue, and for a lot of teams, you get to week 11 of the season, but USC starters on both sides of the ball have missed a combined 39 games due to injury this year,
well,
including Michael Pittman.
Yeah, he's out. 6'4" receiver that they could desperately use. Stephen Carr is also out.
Yep. And now Malapei goes down. Yep. JT Daniels missed a game 2 weeks ago. They'll throw to St. Brown. And pick up about 7.
One of the few times we have seen Cal lay off coverage that deep and give the short throw. That was Hicks in there. Like, big third down now. Cal can be effective when they bring pressure.
They're one of the best blitzing teams in the country.
Yes, they are. When you have corners who can cover, it gives you great flexibility. You can blitz an awful lot.
Let's see what they do here. A run and a first down. Aka Cedric Ware picks up 9.
I think you will see Cal go to more pressure. They're really good at it. You see completion percentage when they blitz down, yards per attempt down, sack percentage up. Good things happen when they bring pressure.
Another quick short throw, and Vaughn's trying to make something happen. Interestingly enough, and you pointed this out earlier tonight, last year Sam Darnold had a decent stat line in a 30-20 win against Cal's defense. But Clay Helton made a point to say it was Sam's toughest assignment last year. And something Quint told us earlier was in that game there were a lot of short passes. They had to force Darnold to check the ball down a lot more. You're seeing a lot of short stuff right now for USC.
And he had to hold the ball a lot more, which is the same thing with Daniels.
A good second effort by Ware. That could have been a loss. Turned it into a gain of 2. ...101 yards rushing for Aka Cedric Ware, the 7th 100-yard game of his career.
There's your safety, Davis. He's about 20 yards deep. Now, he's not going to stay there. He's going to move around. But they get way back and get a running start against run plays, and they will change the picture for Daniels.
Right here, another change with a safety blitz. Daniels Looking deep for Vaughns. Davis that time stayed back as an extra defender in coverage.
Right, but they gave him a too high safety look.
Tartable was the other safety who ended up blitzing.
He ended up blitzing, and Davis was still back there to help on that throw when Daniels was expecting nobody to be over there to help.
The change in picture. That's what Clay Helton expressed often to his quarterback JT Daniels this week. 3rd down and 8 on the 10th play of the drive. Here's the blitz. Oh, clean to Daniels. Evan Weaver. He had no shot. JT Daniels there. Sometimes you got to guess right. They gambled right.
Yeah, well, we've talked about the blitz and how effective they are. They run a little game here. You get 2 guys blocking 1 defensive lineman. A huge hole for Weaver just to come flying in, and when they blitz, good things happen.
How about those 2 guys? 89-59.
Yeah.
They're pretty decent. Nice punt by Budrovich, forcing Remigio to the side. But Remigio turns it into something. Penalty marker thrown back at the 15, though. I think Justin Wilcox knows this one's coming back.
During the return, illegal block in the back on the return team. Number 3. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Remember how bad this Cal team was a couple of years ago?
Well, on defense, Rod, especially.
Yeah.
Post Jared Goff.
Yeah, they were terrible. But Wilcox has changed the attitude. You see it on display tonight.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Some of the folks in the armed forces that represent their Cal pride very, very well as we celebrate Veterans Day. Thank you for everything all of you and your families do.
So it's actually Veterans Day tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the 11th. Observed on Monday.
Yep.
So for you normal people with real jobs unlike us, enjoy your time off if you got it. Here, a 1-point game. 4th quarter, inside their own 10. Cal starts this drive. There's Laird. A lot at stake tonight, including in the Pac-12 South race for Clay Helton, who's been to the Pac-12 championship game a couple of times in the last few years. A loss eliminates USC from Pac-12 South contention. Utah and Arizona State both won earlier today. USC trying to keep pace. Remember, their final Pac-12 game is next week against crosstown rival UCLA. Here's Laird. Pounding ahead, sets up a 3rd down and short. On the other side, a lot to play for at Cal as well. You were talking about it. This is a team that hasn't been to a bowl game in 3 years. They've got an opportunity to do that and to end their 14-game losing streak against USC.
I asked Patrick Laird yesterday, what would a win mean? He said bowl eligibility would be a great way to end my senior year.
Laird gets brought down. Couple of veterans on that play going head-to-head, and Cameron Smith wins that battle. They were happy to have him come back last week.
Yeah, they missed him. He is a veteran player who recognizes, diagnoses things right away, saw that little gap, made himself small enough to squeeze through, shot through to make the tackle. It's a huge 3rd down play.
Vaughn's fair catch. Cameron Smith shuts the play down in his 45th career game. Came back for his senior year, proven to be a 3-down player, gets the 3rd down stop. Woj and Stephen A. will break it down for us tonight on SportsCenter. Vavai Malapai, who was banged up with an ankle issue earlier in this quarter, in the game. Daniels launching for Vaughns into traffic, and it is incomplete. Ooh, that was a hold your breath type of throw.
Well, he took a shot, and Daniels has struggled in the second half. He is now 6 of 14 for 33 yards. He put this one up hoping that Vaughns could just make a play, because Cal's in pretty good position here. Bynum is back there, Hawkins is back there, and even Hicks shows up. This is a good secondary.
Would you take Cal's secondary or Washington's secondary?
I'm not sure I'll go that far.
Okay, all right, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
That's what you were talking about, Ron. 8 incompletions.
Second charge timeout.
USC is going to take a timeout. Some boos from this home crowd.
Well, for 15 years, the SC fans have been used to having their way with Cal.
Yeah.
And they're not used to losing at home either. They lost to Arizona State a couple weeks ago after winning, what, 19 in a row?
Yep.
And here they are, having blown a 14-point lead, having blown an opportunity to go up 21-0. And now they're looking at 6.5 minutes, and they're not sure their team can score on this Cal defense.
You and I and Quint were here with our crew a couple of weeks ago when USC was starting to hear some more noise surrounding this program. Some of the pressure that Clay Helton is dealing with. Haven't lost 2 straight home games in 3 years. When those types of things happen, when a fan base has gotten used to success, those are the magnified things. It may not be a blip on the radar at another school. Here, it's a big deal. There goes Ware.
You just feel that energy from that Cal defense, the gang tackling. It's hard to run inside with Chris Palmer, number 98, eating up space. And then you have Weaver and Kanashik coming in there. It's a tough place to run. They've had more success, a little outside, off tackle on the perimeter.
Just barely over 100 yards allowed to USC on the ground tonight. And now movement.
It just feels like USC's out of sync.
False start. Number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Austin Jackson, the left tackle.
Now, this 3rd and long, the book says this is when Justin Wilcox will come after you. This is when he will make you pay for the long situation.
Is this where Justin Wilcox comes after you, or is this where most coaches would come after you?
This is where Wilcox would come after you. But he may simply play coverage and show blitz and come out of it here.
I say that because Clay Helton said you have to be ready for the lack of tendency.
Here it
they
comes.
do bring the heat. Guess who? Evan Weaver again on the same play as the last drive. Untouched up the middle.
Yep. You know, if you read the book, you know. And Weaver comes again.
He had a sack and a half all year. He's got 2 tonight.
Well, this is not a whole lot different than what we saw earlier. He waits, tries to time it, and he waits until Lobendon looks to his right, which leaves him completely free to run up the middle.
Remigio, whoa, that's a muffed punt, but it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Cal. Woo. Look at Justin Wilcox's reaction to that.
He is returning punts today for Vic Wharton.
That's right, Q.
Put a freshman back there, making a homecoming in L.A. Game's on the line, and the nerves come to the surface. Thankful for the white sideline.
Oof.
This is priceless.
1,000 words right there.
Now, if you're Cal, you're thinking, do we have a 4-minute offense? Every team has one. How do you bleed time off the clock and get a couple first downs? They haven't really run it well enough to get that. I do like the idea of them getting Laird involved out of the backfield, throwing him the ball, short passes.
And they do have Malik McMorris in there blocking for Laird. There's a good run on first down into SC territory.
Right, I also think they're sitting on that quarterback draw that was successful in the first half.
You're right,
so
that's a good point.
If they get themselves in a 3rd and medium, look for them to call that play that was so successful early.
Well, Q, with a 2nd and short here, I would think that they would continue to try and pound it because they'll have 3rd down to play with. And they go 99 in there. Again, not a bad place to run the football. There he is.
Big Malik McMorris, 290 pounds. Laird brought down by Rector. Good play for a loss. Penalty marker flies in at the end of the play as well.
Holding, number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Patrick McCary gets called for the holding. It does make it 2nd down and long now. Key to note, USC only 1 timeout remaining to try to stop the clock if they want to use it on defense.
Well, remember, they burned those 2 timeouts. Confusion on offense on one occasion and the other, trying to decide whether to go for it on fourth down. 2 timeouts that they would love to have back right now.
Play clock down to 6. Laird out of the backfield. That was knocked away by Iosefa. It's ruled as an incomplete pass. The junior out of Hawaii.
He's been featured a lot more in this offense as he's playing a lot more in place of Portis Gustin, their fine pass rusher who broke his foot, I believe, or ankle
yep.
out.
3rd down and long coming up. USC trying to get off the field. Garbers for Remigio. Inbounds or no? 2 officials will talk about it here. Huge call. Catch.
Wow.
It is a catch for Nico Remigio.
That's the young man who muffed the punt, almost lost it, comes right back. Is he in bounds?
I don't think so.
That's going to come back.
I think his toe was out of bounds when you could say that possession was established.
Yeah, remember, you need indisputable video evidence. That's pretty indisputable.
Great job by our truck. And now a penalty marker is thrown, by the way, on the near side of the field. It looked like Iman Marshall was chatting a little bit with somebody on the Cal sideline. And I think based on Clay Helton's reaction, maybe this was a penalty against Marshall.
That's what it looks like it was, Adam. So regardless of whether this was a catch or no catch, that's going to be a dead ball foul against USC.
And a fresh set of downs, Q.
And an automatic 1st down.
You know, you can't have that out of any player, but particularly a senior who's been around and understands all of this, and maybe one of your best players on defense.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 8 defense. That is the 2nd unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game for number 8. Number 8 is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
Whoa, hold on here. They're going to say he's disqualified for a 2nd unsportsmanlike. I think the other one was on the other number 8, Amon-Ra St. Brown. That should not be a disqualification against Iman Marshall there.
I agree with that.
Again, this is the original call that was reviewed. Called the catch on the field. However, you see the toe out of bounds there. That should be ruled out of bounds. So that should be an incompletion. As Q then said, it should be a dead ball foul against Iman Marshall. They announced him as ejected. I believe they will fix that because the other unsportsmanlike was on the offensive number 8, Amon-Ra St. Brown. So watch Marshall, bottom of the screen here, number 8 for USC.
Right, down here, let's see what he does.
kind of aggressively jawing towards the Cal sideline.
Well, and why even be caught up in it? I mean, those are guys on the sidelines. He has no business even listening to them, hearing them. I mean, if you're dialed in, you don't really care.
This kid's going to play on Sundays. He is one of the absolute best cornerbacks in college football, a veteran of 48 USC football games.
You cannot have rabbit ears when you're on the field. You hear all kinds of stuff. It has to be all blocked out. Now, the opponent, the guy you're playing against, he talks, you can hear it. And you should hear it. It's part of, you know, the give and take and intimidation and all that stuff. But people on the sideline, he shouldn't even hear it.
I think we just got confirmation, by the way, there will not be a disqualification. I think the officials figured out that, you know, what we just discussed.
Because they listened to you. Had they not listened to you, they would have made a big mistake.
I'm sure I'm the only one who noticed that, yeah. But that, I mean, that's a brutal play with 3:28. Game's not over by any means, but you get that stop. That was a 3rd down and 13. Right. That's going to be ruled as an incompletion for Remigio, more than likely. And that would have given a 4th down to Cal, likely a forced punt because it's 4th and long at that point, and USC is getting the ball back with 3.5 to go.
Even if you stop them on their next 3 downs, you've lost a couple minutes off the clock here.
And you only have one timeout.
Yep. That's how bad that penalty is.
And USC has had issues with this all year. 120th out of 129 teams in FBS in terms of penalty yards per game. They average 77 penalty yards a game. So Mike McCabe will sort it all out for us.
After review, it was determined the receiver stepped out of bounds, resulting in an incomplete pass. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, and number 8 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down. There are 2 number 8s for USC. This number 8 is not disqualified and they continue to participate in the game.
So that ball should go back, or go forward, I should say, into USC territory. So here we have a great look of it. There's Marshall jawing away right in front of 2 officials. You might be able to get away with a word or a sentence, but you start to stay and linger and keep talking, eventually a flag's going to be thrown. And it happened to be thrown on Marshall there. So this ball goes to the 42 with a fresh set of downs. Laird grabbed and ripped down by Jacob Lichtenstein.
USC had all 11 in the box to defend the run. If you're Laird, you're focused on ball security. They're going to lean on the veteran.
Well, Q, Justin Wilcox has decided he's going to lean on his defense. And he wants to bleed the clock, force USC to use that timeout. I would be awfully surprised if they threw the ball at all down here. There's no reason to.
There it again. Tell and Tufele for the stop. Let's see if USC uses it here. Yep, last timeout right here on 3rd down coming up.
Final charge timeout, USC. This is a 30-second timeout.
Trojans out of timeouts. 3rd down coming up on the other side. Let's take a look at our king of the moment, brought to you by Burger King. How about lightly recruited Chase Garbers? Did not have a single offer until his senior year of high school. Finds Vic Wharton to jumpstart the offense, and then for the first time runs it in for a score. That's why Cal's got the lead.
Yeah, 2 big plays in the second half that got the Cal's offense going. It was really sparked by some great defensive play, including a safety that really lit the fire under the Bears.
Huge 3rd down. USC out of timeouts. It's a fake. There goes Garbers, and he's got the 1st down, I believe. Let's see where the spot goes. how about this? Line judge on the near side says short. Justin Wilcox is going to argue the spot.
Well, it's the start of the slide.
And I think that's what triggered the spot.
I think he started the slide a little bit further than that, and Wilcox wants that looked at. Where does he begin the slide? The first effort, the first attempt to get down.
Ruling on the field was a runner was short of the line.
That makes it very interesting. In real time, it doesn't look like he's really initiating a slide, but you slow this down, it looks a little more clear that he was starting it before the line to gain. That is a huge judgment call here.
And that's a really good spot by the official. That is so close. And remember, you need indisputable video evidence to turn it over. Yeah, that's. I don't know that you got enough.
Here's the one thing.
That.
Here's the one thing. You said something earlier that still sticks in my head. The more you slow a play down, the more kind of holes you can poke in it.
Yeah.
In real time, that looks like maybe just a guy lunging forward.
Right.
You slow it down, it starts to look like a slide.
Yeah, I'd like to take credit for coming up with that, but again, it wasn't me. It was a real life study out of the University of Chicago.
I'll never give you credit for anything. It's okay. You know that.
You know, and it's real. They looked at that evidence in connection with trials to determine intent, and then they looked at replays for football, and they found the same thing, that when you slow it down, what you think you see is a little bit different, and you think there's more time for things to happen than actually does happen.
And when I was in Charlotte earlier this year, ACC Replay Officials Conference, officials conference in general, when they discussed replay, they were trying to tell replay officials, try not to slow things down too much because things get distorted in your head. This is a judgment call and a huge one.
After review, the ruling on the field of the runner short of the line to gain stands as called. Game clock operator, please adjust the game clock to 2:34.
And how about that? On a play where it did look like Chase Garbers, if he just kept moving, may have gotten the first down.
Yeah.
After all that. That call has gone both ways tonight, consistently. Whether you agree with it or not, it's been consistently called tonight. And where the slide begins, where it's initiated, is where the ball is spotted. So 4th down and 1 now.
Well, you might as well go.
Why? Hey, 14-year streak on the line.
Yeah, and, you know, field goal does you no good. You can't punt it. You might as well go.
Although, to be fair, a field goal would make it a 4-point game. It would force a touchdown. But, I mean, do you trust it right now? That'd be a 50-yarder or so.
You either go for it or have your quarterback pooch punt it.
Now
from a shotgun.
Yeah. And Q, they can run this down and take a timeout and talk about it.
Yeah, the only thing about that pooch punt is that you better be certain your quarterback can land it inside the 10-yard line and back him up.
But why not go for it?
Why not?
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
14 years in a row.
You know, I looked at
bowl eligibility on the line.
Absolutely,
this is what you live for right now if you're a Cal Bear.
I was watching Oklahoma State, Oklahoma earlier tonight. Mike Gundy going for 2 on the road, trying to pick up a victory, trying to get that rivalry win in a season where you're just trying to get bowl eligibility.
Yeah.
2003, the last time that Cal defeated USC. They haven't won at the Coliseum in a decade, nearly 2 decades, rather. A yard perhaps for the win. It's Laird, and he's got the first down. And the streak is going to end. When he needed the biggest yard potentially of the season, he goes to Laird, and he knew it, and he knows this one's over.
He gave the ball to the book reader. Laird, the guy who started the book reading club for kids in the summer, shows you his tough side to pick up that yard and to end this streak.
We saw miscues all night from USC. Bad penalty by Iman Marshall in the final series. St. Brown had the fumble earlier in the game. And let's not forget, first drive of the game, Ron.
Yep.
In position to maybe kick a field goal. Would have been a 43-yard try. They went for the fake.
Yep.
Even that play that happened all the way back around 7:45 Pacific time, that's come back to make some impact in this game.
This will take USC out of the race in the Pac-12 South.
Yep.
This will make Cal bowl eligible.
First time in 3 years.
How about the way the Cal defense played tonight, particularly in the second half?
0 points allowed in the second half. And a streak that's been intact since 2003. USC with a win every year against Cal in that stretch. That streak has come to a close in Los Angeles for Justin Wilcox, Patrick Laird, and the Cal Golden Bears tonight. 15-14 the final score. Quick word with his former coaching staff mate, Clay Helton. Laird and Smith, two veterans right there. Patrick Laird said this meant something to this team. He knew what this meant. A bowl game, a chance to continue your career playing in college, and a chance to beat USC for the first time in a decade and a half.
And what about all of the Southern California players on Cal's team who came down here and got this win before family and friends?
Including Chase Garbers, who played his high school ball about 45 miles away at Corona Del Mar. Cal 15, USC 14. The 14-year win streak for SC over Cal is over. For Rod Gilmore, Quint Keshnick, and our entire crew, Adam Amin saying so long from LA. Sports Center with Neil and Stan in 15 seconds.